Hey Calvary kids! I can't believe we're in September. This is the last week of our unit on King Solomon. Remember, Solomon was David's son, and he was an extremely wise ruler because he asked God for wisdom. This week, we're going to talk about an important event in the Old Testament part of the Bible. We're going to talk about how the kingdom of Israel split up. I need your help telling the story. Find a spot to sit down where you can move around safely, and go! And now, I can't remember. What is it we're looking for? Oh yeah, our telescope tool to get us into the Bible stories. I have mine right here. Take out yours and have a look. We adjust and there's Rehoboam. Here we go! We made it. We see Solomon near the temple he built for God, but he is talking to his wife about other religions and other practices. God won't like that. Remember the first and second commandments? God is number one, no false idols, don't bow down to anyone but God. It is pretty hot here. We decide to pretend to be a penguin so that we can feel nice and cool like they are in Antarctica. We stand up and we put our heels together like this. We lift our arms forward and up and then down to the side as we lift our little flipper hands up. And we tilt to one side as we hear God say,
I will take the kingdom away from you. You will be king the rest of your life. But when your son becomes king, he will lose everything except one tribe.
We bend our little penguin selves to the other side as we remember that Israel was made up of 12 tribes. We need to move forward in time a little bit. Let's keep pretending to be cool penguins and waddle through. As we waddle, we have to bend. So we step and waddle, step and waddle, step and waddle, step and waddle, step and waddle. And here we are. Solomon's son, Rehoboam, is now king. We see him talking to a crowd of Israelites. One of them is Jeroboam, a man who worked for Solomon. We sit back in a chair like Rehoboam and listen. Your father Solomon made us work too hard. We will gladly serve you if you make our work easier. Rehoboam gets up. He decides to get some advice. First, he walks to his father's friends. We stretch our little penguin legs and we follow along. His father's friends say, be kind to the workers and they will work for you forever. Do you think that sounds like good advice? Well, Rehoboam didn't think so. We bend down and touch the ground and hop our feet back. And forward as he goes and talks to his friends. They tell him to make the people work harder. He decides to follow his friends' advice and make them work harder. We hop our feet forward again. We are standing. Instead of seeking advice from his friends, what should he have done first? Right, he should have prayed to God. What do you think all the people did when they heard Rehoboam say that they would have to work harder? What would you do? They turned away from Rehoboam. And they actually turned towards Jeroboam and made him king of Israel. Only the southern kingdom of Judah remained loyal to Rehoboam. But Rehoboam wanted to be king of all of Israel, not just one tribe, so he planned to fight the north. We stepped 1 foot forward and 1 foot back, and we ready our hands like Rehoboam getting ready to fight. But then a prophet came to Rehoboam and said, do not fight the people of Israel, are part of your family. I am the Lord, and I'm in control of what is happening. Rehoboam drops his arms, and he heads home. But Jeroboam was not a good king either. When the Israelites went up to Jerusalem to worship God, he was worried that they would choose Rehoboam to be their king. So he made 2 golden calves. We come down onto all 4s. And we pretend to be a baby cow. Moo, 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 moo. Maybe they don't sound quite like that. Then Jeroboam lied to his people. He said, going to Jerusalem is too difficult for you. Here are your gods who brought you up from the land of Egypt. You can worship them. Oh no, we know that isn't true. A cow is not holy. We know that God led his people out of Israel with the help of Moses. Jeroboam was majorly sinning. That's terrible. We've had enough of Jeroboam for the day. We sit back down and we remember the truths, that God is the one true God and the only one worthy of our attention and worship. We close our eyes. Thanks for your help today. We saw how Israel once again turned away from God. This time, the tribes of Israel split. The northern kingdom was called Israel, ruled by Jeroboam, and the southern kingdom was called Judah, ruled by Rehoboam. We keep seeing how every king failed to lead God's people perfectly. God had a plan to send a way better king, Jesus, from the house of David, the last tribe following Rehoboam, the tribe of Judah. And Jesus would be the forever king and lead all of God's people back to God. This month's memory verse is, I am the Lord. I will not give my glory to another. That's Isaiah 42, verse 8. This is what we saw today. We need to always focus on God and not worship other things. Hope you are having a great start to September. Enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.